Hi, my name is Micah Thomas, a student here at Full Sail University going after my master's in internet marketing. You know, my entire life, marketing has always interested me through some various component, whether that be graphic design, web design, film production for commercials, etc. The psychology or the strategy or the science behind causing a consumer to become loyal to a brand and to purchase their products has always intrigued me. The 5 strategies for finding your life's task center around these points. Number 1, returning to your origins of childhood. Basically, taking the talents that you had as a child and using them in future development. Number 2, occupying the perfect niche. It's the Darwinian strategy. Basically being able to home in on the skills that you may have attained through your life or interest and trying to develop a more keen sense of what those things might mean to a common task in your life. Number 3, to avoid the false path, the rebellion strategy. Many times as we're going through life and developing our skills and developing a focus on how those skills might help others, it's easy to actually maybe be on the wrong path. However, our interests are giving us focus and at least pointing us in the right direction. Sometime in following the wrong path, you end up discovering the right one. 4, letting go of the past, the adaptation strategy. It's so important to always live in the moment and in the present, to actually not focus on what yesterday's failures or even victories were. Because life is about the present, the moment. What are your decisions today, and how might they affect your tomorrow? And the final strategy is finding your way back, the life or death strategy. Our textbook reading about the ways or the strategies to finding your life tasks is led by a great story about a filmmaker by the name of Ingmar Bergman, who actually found an interest in filmmaking because as a child his parents actually gave his brother a cinematograph, which is probably one of the earliest picture show or sort of viewers for movies, if you will. He was so interested in that he actually transferred all of his toys to his brother just for an even trade. From there on, well, his film career is just basically history because he's been a pioneer of some of the greatest cinematography of the early 19th century simply because he had such an interest in making the magic of movies. Now, to enlighten the second strategy, a man by the name of V.S. Ramachandran, say that 5 times fast, was actually therefore a great interest because his story started off with ecological advancement or ecological understanding of evolution, which started on beaches with things like seashells, etc. However, later in his life, some of the same principles, questions that he asked as a child in this one line of science would branch out into other areas such as medicine, neuroscience, chemistry, etc. And so, again, while it's not exactly what his interest was in the beginning as a child, like a seed, it sort of blossomed like a flower into other areas. Many times, returning to our origins is a great starting point, but where we end can be many times much more awesome than what our childhood seed would have ever imagined. As a pianist myself, I was often interested in the story of Wolfgang Mozart, who actually grew up and supported his family through his music as a pianist, but he also wrote as well. And along his life, he had to make some very key decisions about what really made him happy. Was it to play music and perform for others? Well, no, not really, even though that was a means to an end. Eventually, he had to make the decision to leave his family and sort of hang them out to dry, really, if you will, but to follow his own passions, which was not being a pianist, but composing the music itself. Having that music played out in theater and plays and other such ways that basically it could be expressed without him having to be the performer. I think the most impactful principle of all of the 5 strategies is actually number 4, basically letting go of the past, which implies that we should actually focus on our present. So what's my dream career? Well, it's to work for myself, which I'm doing currently at this point, and working on a great product that's actually going to make a great change in the world, in the field of entertainment and other areas as well, such as mobile applications. One of the things that I feel I can do within the next 2 weeks to help excite that or push that in the right direction is begin to gain a development of a focus of what it's going to take to continue this journey as I'm on, and secondly, to basically assess what I've done up to this point, pulling out the most positive aspects of this journey so that I can replicate those particular things in the future.